Today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, and the board meeting is now called to order. It's currently 6:02 p.m. All board members are present. Director Hudson will be joining us virtually. At this time, Student Advisor Jackson Woods will read the land acknowledgement this evening.
We are gathered here today on the land of the Kalapuya, who are represented by the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians. The relationship between the Kalapuya people and this land continues unbroken to this day, and we offer gratitude for the land and for the generations present and past who have stewarded the land since time immemorial. We respectfully acknowledge and honor past, present, and future Native American and Indigenous students and staff of Salem-Keizer Public Schools. We invite you to join us in honoring these ancestral grounds and celebrating the resilience and strength of all Native American and Indigenous people.
Thank you, Jackson. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Superintendent Castaneda, are there any modifications to the agenda?
There are none.
I will turn this portion of the agenda over to you, Superintendent Castaneda, for our spotlights.
Thank you so much. So I want to do a quick orienting everyone. We are going to do spotlights, which is one of our favorite parts of every agenda. And then afterwards, we will meet up here and we will take some photos. So for our first spotlight, I would like to so warmly welcome Jenny Madlin, and she is going to do our staff spotlight. Come on. Oh, I'm sorry, community spotlight. Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, Chair Richardson, Board of Directors, Superintendent Castaneda, and student advisors. Tonight, I'd like to recognize a community member who has helped provide some positivity to our students through an inspired and caring gesture. Donna Zeit is a longtime community member who recently undertook a large project to empower and motivate students using bookmarks. The inspiration came from this project from Donna's late husband, Donald Zeit, when he was called stupid as a child struggling in math. While he went later on to earn his master's degree, Donna was inspired by Donald's experience and wanted to provide at least one instance every day for students to receive a positive message. Donna and a group of friends created nearly 2,900 motivational bookmarks and shared them with youth in our community. 650 went to Leslie Middle School students. Literacy is a key focus for our district, and Donna's thoughtful gift is fun, encouraging, and a practical tool. Each bookmark is a wonderful placeholder that delivers a message to boost students' confidence and serves as a daily reminder to maintain an optimistic outlook. One of the bookmarks that students received reads, "Look for something positive in every day, even if some days you have to look harder. You can always face a bad day with a good attitude." Donna, we are sincerely grateful to you and your wonderful friends who supported this huge project, which came at a perfect time just before our launch of a school-wide reading challenge. I just was telling Donna outside that students are still reading books outside in the sunshine with their little bookmarks. You are a testament to our amazing community and its deep care for our youth and their well-being.
Thank you, Principal Madlin. So for our second spotlight, this is for our staff spotlight, I would like to welcome Jody Peterson.
Good evening, Chair Richardson, members of the board, and Superintendent Castaneda. Can you hear me okay? And student advisors. This evening, we are proud to recognize 2 staff members whose quick thinking and calm response made life-saving differences. Anna Odo from Judson Middle School and Erica O'Neill from Cummings Elementary. Both Anna and Erica serve as school-based health assistants and are trained in basic medication and epinephrine administration through our district's registered nurse health service team. When students at each of their respective schools experience a severe allergic reaction, they recognized the symptoms, acted immediately, called the nurse helpline, and administered epinephrine, saving students' lives. Their response demonstrated not only great response and competencies from their health trainings, but also composure, compassion, and collaboration. In the midst of a critical moment, they connected with the nurse helpline for guidance and continued to monitor and support the students until further care arrived. Anna and Erica's ability to put their training into action reflects the best of who we are as a district, prepared, caring, and dedicated to student safety and well-being. Their actions remind us how vital our school-based health assistants are at keeping our schools safe places for every child to learn and thrive. Please join me in recognizing Anna Otto, and Erica O'Neill for their professionalism, courage, and commitment to our students and families.
Thank you so much for that, Jody. We also just want to acknowledge as you get seated that you've been such an amazing advocate for our entire nursing program, and we do know that all of our school-based health assistants and our nursing team are amongst the most important people we have in schools, and today gives us yet another chance to celebrate that. So we're going to meet right over here for photos. Usually what we do is we make this a fun affair. So anyone who wants to be in the life-saving photo, okay. Oh, good, yes. The more the merrier. Yeah, please do.
All right. Thank you.
What's this?
Thank you.
It includes a packet, the student stuff. That tells what's in there.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
I also brought
Oh,
everybody,
and it's got the history and
I was taught being
thank
good.
you so much. Oh my goodness. Look at this.
Thank you, ma'am. And there's one more director there, okay?
Right?
Just say, Is the bookmark ready?
Around 2 that would have been applauding somebody.
Everybody cannot do everything, but everybody can do something. Right? It really is problematic.
7 double-sided bookmarks.
All right. 1, 2.
One big suits me too.
Same number and system as
Same number
before.
1, 2, 3. No, you don't raise it. It's like Candelaria.
These are, I was taught, these are. I didn't expect this.
Well, it's almost like a geometric problem.
It's from the section too. Is that what we're supposed to do? You get high fives?
It says something.
Oh.
One right and left hand for applauding somebody or giving a helping hand. Patting yourself for somebody else.
And they're using the time of giving.
Oh, shoot. Thank you.
Did they leave? I feel like they're gone. Okay, she's still here. Someone run her.
And I think Aaron took your pack.
We're all just like digging into her. It's like Easter. It's like
I'll be back on 11. My nephew is getting married.
The little hand. I didn't expect you to ever get like, there's little hands.
Here's a picture. So nice. Here's the second largest
I love it.
marriage industrial after US. US is labor exports. After US, India is second. Gold, gold.
Now we will move to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Chair. As we have a very full meeting tonight, I'm going to be extremely brief in my superintendent's report. First, I would like to welcome a new member of our executive team, Heidi San, our new Chief Financial Officer. I think it is possible that there's nobody happier than me to have Heidi joining our team. She comes to us with decades of experience in public education finance and in private sector finance. And she is on day 7 today and is already making an impact on our team. So we are so delighted to have you join, Heidi. I also would like to ask our student advisor to please put your props back on again for 1 second. And use these to do a very small clap for principals because it is Principal Appreciation Month. And so we do a small clap for all of our building principals who are doing amazing work. And how better to celebrate than a pair of very tiny hands. But joking aside, we will celebrate them again in the spring, and they are amongst the most important people in our buildings. They are up and awake and working at 5 in the morning, looking at staffing, and they are still calling families and working hard at games and doing all of the things that we just know need to be done. And so thank you, building principals. And then with that, I'm going to actually pass it back to our board chair so we can continue with the agenda.
Next, we will hear the 24-25 Division 22 report from Deputy Superintendent Neves.
Good evening, Chairperson Richardson, Board Directors, and Superintendent. Myself and Deputy Superintendent Cobb will be sharing about our Division 22 compliance for the 24-25 school year. And we will start with Deputy Superintendent Cobb.
Good evening, everyone. Chair, board members, student advisors, and Superintendent Castañeda. We, like every fall, want to come in to the board and report on our Division 22. And Division 22 is a small part of the Oregon administrative rules that guides on a lot of requirements that elementary and secondary schools have to follow. So every fall, we engage our teams and we look at each of those rules and we make sure that we are meeting all of those requirements. And if we don't meet one of those, then we create a plan of action to get back into compliance. These rules identify those minimum requirements that must exist in schools, and they are rules that are followed by all districts in Oregon. And they also change from year to year. Last year, for example, we had 54 rules. This year, we are reporting on 60 rules. And they change depending on the legislature and then new rules that are proposed and that are changed. And they also don't cover all the things that happen in school, so there's a lot more that we do, but these are the minimal requirements that every school district must follow. Next slide, please. So this is an example of what that looks like. There's about 60 rules again this year, and they determine everything from how many instructional minutes our students must be offered for each of the content areas, what kind of licensure our teachers must have, what are some of the emergency plans that we have to have in place, the drills, the first aid and CPR requirements at each of the schools, so we are compliant with any emergency situation. And then just anything more that happens within the schoolhouse that we must revise every year.
Thank you. Last year, when we reported to you, we had several rules that were being corrected, and those have all been updated. So what you'll see here is we have just one rule that is technically out of compliance. We have an approved corrective action plan that we have been implementing for the last 3 years, and we will complete that corrective action plan in 2028. So we will be back next fall and the one after that to continue to report on this. This is around our instructional materials adoption. Salem-Keizer Schools was out of compliance with the cycle run by the state, and so we are in the process of getting back on cycle. What this means is that each year we are conducting instructional materials adoptions, bringing new curriculum materials into our schools. During this school year right now, we are adopting elementary literacy and high school mathematics. So our teachers are currently looking at pilot materials, evaluating those, and we'll make decisions that we'll bring back to you in the early part of the spring. This process will continue until we have completed curriculum materials adoptions for all of our content areas and grade levels. Our target date right now in our approved corrective action plan is 2028. So that's great news. We know that we have been meeting all of these requirements. We do want to give you a little preview that each year, as Deputy Superintendent Cobb said, there are often new or different rules. So we like to preview what's coming up when we see you next fall for this. So for the current year, 2025-2026, we implemented some new graduation requirements. We are currently in compliance with that, so that will be one of the ones that we will meet. And then in the next couple of years, you will see some additional adjustments. One, due to the accountability bill, we'll have some rules that are coming around interim assessments. So once those rules are designed and we know what that looks like, we'll provide you more information on how we'll implement those in upcoming years. And we'll also have very small adjustments. There are some requirements in the next 2 years to align evaluation systems to new standards for school leaders. And so we'll show you that as well when we get there. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. So every year we kind of do this Division 22. It's more like a self-attested, that each district brings it in front of the board and then the board votes for it. So how does the ODE keep the oversight? Do they do, like in hospitals, do they do survey of the hospitals to see if they're meeting the CMS standard? Is there some mechanism like that the ODE shows up and says, we want to see? And another question is, you say the diploma requirement. Suppose a student transfers from, say, Oregon to another state. So do they have anywhere publicly displayed, these are the standards, and this is what our accreditation standard, or how would they compare with other states? Is that required by the Division 22? So that publicly people know when they get our transcripts, what grade level they will go into another school?
I'll answer your second question first. When students transfer out of state, then their grades and their courses that they've taken with us will be transcripted. That transcript will go to their new school district in their new state, and that state will then determine, based on their requirements, how our courses fit into their requirements, if that makes sense.
So does this Division 22 require us to have a public facing something either in a website or somewhere saying this is what our graduation standards? Not every state requires the same level of credits for graduation. So how does the higher colleges, etc., decide whether the students have to take additional courses or not? Is it governed by the Division 22 requirement?
So under Division 22, we are required to have our graduation requirements for our school district that align with the expectations for the state of Oregon. All of our graduation requirements are also available on our website, shared with families through multiple venues, and that includes our modified diploma, extended diploma, and certificate of attendance. The first question you asked, the process for Division 22 oversight and approval, we bring the annual report to our local board. That is then, we take the minutes of having shared this with you. We have a report that is completed that will be posted on our website and submitted to the Oregon Department of Education. If they have any follow-up questions, they will then reach out to us to either ask for additional verification if needed, or potentially to check on our corrective action. We're in contact with the Division 22 office all throughout the year. So for example, with instructional materials, we'll get communication that says, how is it going on this? Are you on track throughout the year to support us in that work as well?
Yeah, thank you very much. That was helpful because one year we didn't take the state test. So that year we were not in compliance with Division 22. So I just wanted to make sure that how does the OD keep track to say, are we back on compliance, or how do the board or the family know that we are back in compliance? That's the reason I asked that question.
Just to refer back to that one situation, there was a waiver for that year for all districts for state assessments. And so that waiver then was lifted, and we had to go back into, doing the state assessments as we did every year. But they will sometimes issue waivers, sometimes change rules around, and that's why it's very important for us to engage in the in revising that we are meeting all of those, or that we have a plan in place to get back to compliance.
The Division 22 also requires the family involvement in various process rules. There's a requirement, but the Title I only supports Title I schools, family. There's a percentage of money that we can use for family. So does the Division 22 go beyond the Title I requirement, or is it just the Title I requirement for family involvement?
It has some requirements for communication and posting of students' rights and responsibility rules, for example. So it has some requirements around communication and access of information for families.
So all families, not just the Title I.
All families,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce Director Rob Schofer. He will be presenting his annual Integrated Programs Report.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Richardson, Director, Superintendent Castaneda, and student advisors. Thank you for having me this evening. I would like to bring to you tonight an opportunity to share our 24-25 Integrated Programs Annual Report. This report provides high-level highlights and next steps from our work across this past year. I do want to share, as in previous years with this report, that the annual financial audit that is required as part of the student investment account is shared later in the winter, and it will be available to you when it's completed. That's typically in January or February. Also, the full report for Integrated Programs 24-25 is now on our district website and is accessible to the public. The full report is accessible to the public for review. Next slide, please. Real quickly, I want to give us some context here around integrated programs as a reminder. The Oregon Department of Education's Aligning for Student Success initiative that was launched in 2022 integrated 9 historically separate programs, each with their own outcomes and reporting parameters into one common framework. This process requires districts like Salem-Keizer to conduct a comprehensive needs assessment and develop a 2-year plan. Salem-Keizer went through this cycle again for the second time since 2022, and those findings help shape priorities in our 25-27 Climbing Together strategic plan. Some key programs that are a part of our integrated programs include our High School Success Grant, which we know our High School Success Grant supports CTE programming in our high schools and dropout prevention. Our Student Investment Account, where we focus on reducing academic disparities, targeting our student focal groups, and supporting the mental and behavioral health needs of our students in schools. CTE Perkins, again, stands up much of our CTE programming across our high schools, and our Early Literacy Grant, which supports us in our work in implementing our early literacy plan in grades K through 2. Before I move on, are there any questions about the integrated programming and what programs are braided into the integrated programs for Salem-Keizer Public Schools? Okay, next slide, please. There are 7 distinct performance measures and processes used to monitor programming implementation under integrated guidance. I've included this slide as a way to visualize how these evaluation components fit together. Some measures that are relevant to our board, I'd like to highlight longitudinal performance growth targets, which we know as our board goals. This information for 24-25 will be presented as these data points are released by the state. I know back in August, Director Chris Moore gave an update on our sense of belonging targets with Panorama and updates on program initiatives. I believe our next presentation is coming up around our 3rd grade reading outcomes and our early literacy plan being implemented across our elementary schools. Our team also conducts quarterly program and fiscal reporting. So we work with our budget analysts who support the grant management of these programs around expenditure and year-to-date reporting to ODE. There are grant-specific requirements with High School Success and Perkins, but each quarter throughout the year, our instructional leadership team, who are primarily folks who are initiative owners in our school district, work collaboratively to reflect on progress markers aligned to longitudinal performance growth targets and provide narrative responses to updates on key initiatives as outlined in our integrated programs. And finally, the full annual report is posted on our district website for review. Before I move on to our findings, are there any questions about the performance measures we use with integrated programming? Okay. Next slide, please. Part of our annual report is specific to some narrative responses, and when our instructional leadership team got together and reflected on the past year, these were some key priorities that came out as highlights with our work last year. Foundational skills specialists supporting K-2 early literacy. We fund our foundational skills specialists. We braid funds with our early literacy grant and SIA to fund these positions in all 42 elementary schools and at EDGE. This includes these folks support our teachers with implementing professional development in early literacy. They also work to support interventions like our high dosage tutoring we provide, and also do the data tracking around kids and their performance and whether or not they need additional time to master early literacy skills. So these folks do a lot of work in our elementary schools, working alongside their leadership teams, working alongside administrators, and supporting the early literacy work that's happening across our elementaries. Another highlight that came out of our report is the importance and the priority going to professional learning communities and data teams across our schools. This is a strategy across the system K-12 and a priority at every school. Over the 24-25 school year, we've worked to begin aligning K-12 PLC processes more intentionally to focus on instructional improvement. Teams work collaboratively to plan, to implement curriculum as designed, and most importantly, ensure our students get access to grade level content. This is a continued strategy you'll find in our Climbing Together plan, where high-functioning PLCs in every school implementing high-quality instruction to improve learning outcomes for kids is a priority. And I can tell you, as a principal at both the middle and the high school level, high-functioning PLCs are a key driver to teacher preparedness. So working collaboratively through the curriculum instruction assessment cycle is really important, and having high-functioning teams that do that work moves the dial for kids. Another highlight, and I brought this up last year, but it's another highlight that came out of our report, is regarding our career technical education programs at our high school. Again, our CTE programs continue to make significant impact across our high schools for students accessing career pathways. Students who participate in programs, particularly those we identify as CTE concentrators, meaning they complete at least 2 semesters in a career pathway, are coming to school at higher rates and are graduating at higher rates compared to non-participants. So investments in CTE programming continue to support our students' access to industry-ready programs in all of our high schools and at CTEC. And finally, I have to bring this to the group because 2025, the summer of 2025 was a summer of learning here in Salem-Keizer schools. Our integrated programs supported a variety of programs. Credit recovery programs were provided by all high schools, including REPRTS for students needing time to recoup credits to stay on track to graduate. These were well attended and served as a nice resource for many students last summer. Our secondary schools, our middle schools, and our high schools provided transition programs for incoming 6th graders and 9th graders. So for 6th graders, that included coming to school early, meeting teachers, practicing opening their lockers, attending classes, all in preparation for a successful start to the year. And as a parent of a middle schooler, we know how important that is, right? That sense of safety, yeah. And then at the high school level, we did the same thing for our 9th graders. So we know how important that is, setting them up for success, and that is familiarizing themselves with their teachers, their classes, and getting to know new classmates. And then we worked in partnership with a variety of community-based organizations this summer to provide enrichment programming. Our Native Education program ran a real comprehensive summer school. Our equity department ran a summer school, Bold, Black, and Brilliant, which was very well attended. And many of our community organizations provided great programming, and they worked in collaboration with us on design, including the Kroc Center, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, Los Capaces up in Woodburn, and the Salem-Keizer Coalition for Equality. So again, it was a real summer of learning in our city, and we appreciate all the partnerships and community organizations who provided these service, and we'll probably more than likely be reaching out again later this winter to start that partnership work again. Next slide, please. Some things that came out of our assessment with our annual review around some barriers or challenges, and I'm bringing these up because we definitely understand these, and we definitely have a plan and a course of action to address these. So, absence of instructional coaching. We have them in some schools, not all. And what came out of our annual report was one challenge to implementation has been the absence of instructional coaches across our schools. Without this dedicated support, adoption of evidence-based practices has been slower and less consistent. To address this, we are exploring ways at the district level to provide more targeted district-level professional development to our schools and to our staff, and build systems in our schools to provide peer-to-peer collaboration and observation opportunities. Work many of our instructional coaches do naturally alongside of our teachers, providing those structures with learning walks, getting into each other's classes, and really creating that opportunity to learn from one another. Another challenge has been, and I'm speaking on as the federal programs director, has been volatility in federal funding and shifting policy requirements. And I bring this up because it makes it difficult to sustain long-term planning. But to mitigate this, we are working to strengthening our budgeting processes. We are standing up a grant management team. That group is working diligently right now with me around process and design to really help make connections as we work to braid funding as we move forward in the event funding may not come in as designed or as planned. While these challenges are real, we know that implementation matters most. By strengthening teacher support, working to stabilize our resources, and continuing to increase student access to high-quality instructional materials, we're taking proactive steps to ensure all students can continue to benefit from these services, regardless of circumstances. Before I move on, are there any questions about what I've shared as highlights or some barriers or challenges that I've identified this evening? Yes.
Yes,
Mel?
Thanks. I don't have a question. Is it okay if I make a comment? Okay. You talked about moving the dial for students, and I've watched closely a group of third graders, now sixth graders, and I've seen that needle move significantly. I've watched a group of kids come into third grade completely chaos. Now they're sixth graders, they know what to do, they are excited to be students and on track, and it worked. Thank you. And as I listened to you go down, I was thinking in my head, oh, I just toured CTEC today, it's amazing. And I know I'm new on the board and learning a lot about the district, but I see the results. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you for those comments.
Director Hudson.
In regards to the absence of instructional coaching, and you said we do still have a few in the district. In the past, it seemed like statistics consistently proved that it was very valuable to us. Do you happen to have any more deeper statistics on that today, for example, as, like you said, we face more funding uncertainty now and in the future? So as we continue to choose where to make our cuts and where to apply funds to, do you have an outcome of that for the annual report as far as maybe difference on a scale where we've had the instructional coaches as opposed to not, or what the improvement level has been from, say, top of the year to the end of the year in the places we have had them, by chance?
I do not have that data on me, but I can speak, in our highest needs, most complex school systems like our Title I-A schools, we are working with those school leaders on supplementing instructional support with instructional coaching. So it is available and it is accessible. It's just not necessarily spread far and wide.
Thank you. Dr. Sandegari.
Yeah, I just want to kind of touch upon the federal funding uncertainty. So, currently they're all kind of multiple restricted funds that come our way. And there's so much of reporting requirement, and we can't spend for anything else other than what it's restricted for. Now, if it flows through the Oregon Department of Education, how can we as school board directors advocate so that bulk of that money comes to us rather than it gets spent on administrative cost or, pass-through fees the ODE may decide to charge. So how can we protect, and what are some of the such thoughts you have in terms of just get us some talking points, which I was sharing with you in the break?
Yeah, I'm sure we can get you some talking points. I think once we have a clear idea of how that funding will come to us, will give us a better idea on how we could provide you some talking points or some information to advocate on our behalf with ODE.
I was hoping that if it becomes part of our unrestricted fund with less administrative reporting requirement, then we can use that fund in a strategic way, catering to what we need, or we can kind of do some braiding of the funds and make it work. as long as we get the money should trickle down to us.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And the final slide, please. I just want to bring this up regarding next steps. I do want to say it's important to note that with launching Climbing Together this fall, 25-27, we have worked to align strategies and associated investments in our integrated programs 25-27 to board goals and key initiatives outlined in our strategic plan. This is important work, and for the first time, you can follow an activity line in any of our integrated grants to associated initiatives in Climbing Together and ultimately see how that investment ties to specific board goals. So we continue to work on the system side to make those through lines. And I can say for the first time with integrated programming aligns to Climbing Together. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
time.
Good job.
It is now time for the public comment portion of the school board meeting. As a reminder, all audience members are subject to immediate removal if you engage in abusive, threatening, vulgar, or hate speech, including speech articulated in signs and clothing, which violate the district's harassment and/or every student belongs policy. Please note that we provide an opportunity for public comment by virtual call-in, in person, or in writing. Electronic mechanisms are used for translation. Each participant has 3 minutes. We have a countdown timer on screen for monitoring time. The timer counts down from 3 minutes. At 30 seconds, it turns from green to yellow. At 1 second, it turns red and plays a short bell to signal time is up. Please be mindful of your pace for our interpreters. If the board receives written comment ahead of the meeting, the written comment will be posted on the district website. Tonight, we have 3 people signed up and have been selected to comment. At this time, will Suzanne Christman come up? Is Caitlin Watson available? Please come up.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin Watson. I am a 4-5 teacher in the Salem-Keizer School District, and I wanted to take a minute to share with you some of the resources that I use in my classroom on a daily basis. I always like to start out with Proud Teacher Mail. I fill this out and send it home with students when I see excellent behavior. For some families, this is the only good information they get about their kid in the school program. I've watched kids carry these around all day long before taking it home with their families to share with them. This is our song request form. We use these to request songs that we're going to listen to during snack and break time. It also includes potentially a little mini lesson about how to correctly write a title, what genre means. I've used this before, and I have seen students in my class who are nonverbal dance with our classmates and connect with them. And we listened to We Don't Talk About Bruno for 3 weeks in a row so that this kid could dance every day in our classroom. This is teacher mail. This is where students get to share things with me that maybe I don't always have time to sit down and listen to them. So I've heard kids share amazing things. I've heard kids share devastating things on this sheet of paper. These are shout outs. When you hear something positive or you see someone doing something positive in our school, students fill these out and then we display them. These are all examples of resources, non-academic materials that I found on the Teachers Pay Teachers website. Salem-Keizer leadership blocked access to the Teachers Pay Teachers website on all district devices in late September. Many teachers, including myself, received zero warning of this decision before it was enacted. This decision by district leadership further confirms the lack of trust in teachers, SLPs, behavior specialists, and many others to choose for themselves and students what is required to serve the diverse and mounting needs in our schools. As an early career educator, the only thing that I have less of than money is time, and the Teachers Pay Teachers website has helped me develop classroom routines. It's also helped me to make my classroom a welcoming and decorated space, which is an unspoken expectation for which we are given $0 and resources. I'm grateful for Salem-Keizer's commitment to new and engaging curriculum, but blocking this website has damaged the trust between leadership and employees and makes the vastly difficult job of school employees more complicated. Please trust us to know what's best for our students. Thank you.
Beth Smith.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Let me get it together. Superintendent Castaneda, Board Chair Cynthia Richardson, and the directors. My name is Beth Schmidt, and this is Tanya Perfecto. We are from Salem-Keizer Safe Routes to School. We're here this evening to talk about Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. Today is October 14th. It's the 1 month countdown to November 14th. We're presenting the bill for Senate Bill 450. Senate Bill 450 acknowledges Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day, November 14th, every year around the state of Oregon. It passed in both houses of the legislature with bipartisan support. Senator Deb Patterson helped carry the bill, and it is probably my greatest joy. And I worked with a great team as a partner in Salem-Keizer Public Schools. Superintendent Castaneda was a big support, but I'd also like to thank TJ Crockett and Kevin Walker and everyone who came and testified and supported us in this bill. Every signature is an original signature. This is a piece of history that we hold in the state because it does talk about Salem-Keizer. And I think that's unique because we're the second largest school district, the capital of the state. And forever, it will be held that we did this here. And I think that's a really promising thing for the future. Ruby Bridges was a courageous 6-year-old little girl who was the first Black student who was walked into an all-white school that ended segregation in schools on November 14th, 1960. Her foundation is very supportive of us and what we're doing here in Salem-Keizer. And hopefully, we invited her this year, but hopefully maybe she'll send us a message or visit our students virtually and we can continue to talk about it and plan Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. I'm just really proud of everything and our partnerships within the community. I think that the impact that this makes has been phenomenal, and I'm really proud of everyone who has signed on. This year, I think we have 12 schools, which we're growing, little bit by little bit, it is growing. And I'm really excited this year. You are supporting us with the Office of Student Equity and Advancement. So we're really thrilled about that. That pre-education that's going to take place this year before the walk is significant. So we're really happy for the support, but also just the added level of engagement that will take place with students to have a conversation about who Ruby Bridges is and what she did, and for students to learn. I think that's everything. Anybody have any questions? Easy peasy. Can we take a picture?
I have a, thank you very much. I enjoyed walking in the Liberty Elementary School. So for those of you who haven't done it, please do it. Early morning, you have to wake up early and show up. That's all. These kids show up and it's fun.
Yeah.
One little boy wanted to hold my hands and walk, so I said, fine. You know?
Yeah, I think the
I could
beauty-
very well be his grandpa by now,
very well
you know?
Maybe he thought you were, I don't know.
Yeah.
This year, I'm really excited. Each school gets to choose how they're going to champion their own walk. They decide maybe what route they're going to take, but what time. It becomes their own, like they become the steward of it. And like, for example, at Myers, they had a theme that was Kindness Matters. And children make posters and they take part in it and they talk about Ruby Bridges. The impact is just deeply felt.
Yeah.
So I hope that each school, each principal, everybody takes the opportunity to really make it their own. They could meet at a park before school and walk together, or they could be inclusive and include their whole student body and walk out like you did, maybe around the track at Liberty. It's just dependent upon that school and how they decide to really hold that walk, which, you know, we support in every way we can possible. But yeah, I appreciate your sharing that.
you.
I don't know that Liberty is doing it this year, but I will find a school for you to take
It,
part.
it had rained the night before, so we decided to walk around. That's the simplest thing.
We watch the weather really closely now.
Beth, hi.
Hi.
Again, I just want to say that your commitment to this and your investment and your energy and your commitment shows, and I really appreciate that. I can tell how important this is to you, which thus makes it important to me. You were one of the first people that I met after getting elected to the board in your office, and just your welcoming nature, your enthusiasm in sharing the program. You got something going. Thank you so much, and I love your dress.
Thank you. It's the last purple dress I have for a while, by the way.
We want to thank you so much for your presentation tonight. At this time, we'll take a 10-minute break. It's currently 6:54, so we'll come back at 7:08, 7. I need my clock.
Try to come back maybe at 7. Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back at 7. Thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of the authorization to sell the 7990 Wheatland Road North property known as Centennial School. The board heard a first reading of this item at our last business session. Chief Odenthal is there. Anything else you'd like to add before we proceed? Oh, there he is.
Timing is going to be spectacular.
All the way. Thank you, Chair Richardson. I have nothing to add unless there's questions.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the authorization for the sale of 7990 Wheatland Road, North Keizer, Oregon, 97303, known as Centennial School?
Yes.
Dr. Sandagiri moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Harnish, Director Harnish seconded.
Go ahead.
Any discussion? At this time, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of approval of the authorization to sell the property known as Centennial School, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Do we have Director Hudson present for the vote?
Is she? Thank you. So it is moved and approved. Next is the approval of the authorization to sell the land adjacent to Chavez Elementary School. The board heard a first reading of this item at our last business session. Chief Odenthal, is there anything else you'd like to add before we proceed?
Thank you, Chair Richardson. Nothing else to add.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the authorization for the sale of land adjacent to Chavez known as Marion County or MAP Tax Lot 072-170C000200, Tax Account ID 523424?
Yes, Chair.
Dr. Sandegari has made a motion. Do I have a second? Not yet.
I'll second it.
Mel has seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I did have one question. Since it's so close to a school, is there any restrictions for this land for a potential buyer? Do we have any regulations that what the business could be since it's so close to a school?
Right now, it's in an urban transition area, is the zoning for that. So any, potentially a landowner could rezone it, ask for that approval from the city for many uses as well. The site really, it's small, there's a lot of the wetlands on it as well, so whatever was in there would be, it's most likely a small housing project is what we would suspect, but it is potential for any zoning change that the city would approve, and of course there would be public comment as well with that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I did. Okay. You get the second? All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. It's been approved. Our next agenda item is the approval and adoption of resolution number 202526-02, commitment to students. The board heard a first reading of this item at our last business session. Superintendent Castaneda, is there anything else you'd like to add before we proceed?
I have nothing additional to add.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt resolution number 202526-02?
Yes.
Permit to students. Dr. Sandegari has made a motion. Do I have a second? Okay. Director Parker seconded. Is there any discussion? Yes, Dr. Harnish, Director Harnish.
Thank you. Well, I kind of like this promotion. I don't know, but I kind of like it. I just wanted to take a moment to say a couple of things as I was not able to be at the first reading of this. I will be supporting this resolution as presented, and I also want to acknowledge that my support is not because of the removal of the explicit language around white supremacy and racism. I believe wholeheartedly that it's essential that we as a community and we as a board continue to confront the very systems and beliefs that have shaped inequity in our country and in our state and in our community. What matters most to me is that the actions that we take to ensure that all children are seen and heard and cherished. I'm very proud to support the resolution because it does reflect the very best of who we are as a district and as a community. Salem-Keizer's strength lies in its diversity, with students and families representing more than 100 languages and cultures. And this resolution commits us to creating schools where every student feels safe, valued, and inspired to succeed. So I just wanted to put that on the record.
Thank you. Any more discussion?
Student.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I would like to say I really appreciate this commitment to student resolution, and I just wanted to respond to some of the feedback I've heard from people about it. Well, it is important to focus on our common humanity. It is also equally important to recognize the uniqueness of individuals, because that is what fuels and enriches our community. I appreciate that this resolution actually identifies several different groups because it helps people be seen. It is also important to recognize if you don't name and include different groups of people, they can feel invisible. I love that the resolution emphasizes the core values of our district students at the center, excellence, equity, relationships, and community. These core values reflect what should be present in all of our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Ortiz?
Thank you, Chair. I will be voting no on the revised resolution, formerly the Equity and Anti-Racism Resolution. I strongly agree that we need to work together to support our community and move forward with the vision and the values to improve student experience. My vote is not a denial of this sentiment, but rather my commitment to moving forward with a deliberate recognition of the current and past impacts that racism and white supremacy have on the lives of individuals and our educational systems. In this moment, when our First Amendment rights are being challenged and suppressed at a national scale, and while many of us who have been strongly advocating and working for the fair and equitable access to a high-quality education, healthcare, judicial systems, and beyond, are being asked to morph our language to make it palatable and digestible to those who have benefited from the current systems, laws, and policies as they stand. For that reason, I stand as firm today as I have over the last 4 years in naming the social illness of white supremacy as a factor that negatively impacts students of color, students living in poverty, our leadership, and our relationships, and therefore our students' experiences and educational outcomes. It's not the words, but the meaning and naming of what has for too long gone unchallenged that has caused offensiveness. I will continue to invite anyone who feels a discomfort with the language to read, self-evaluate, and reflect on why you cannot denounce white supremacy from our schools and our board. I do believe it is our duty as leaders to acknowledge the history of our country and commit to anti-racism, to commit to the value and life of every individual, regardless of their identity, background, gender identity, sexual orientation, income, language, accent, belief, and race.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Yes.
I mostly just want to reinforce what Jolie said, that there's a lot of mentions, I think, in two different of these paragraphs of how the diversity in our schools is not a setback, but is actually strengthens our schools and our communities. And the fact that, again, like Jolie said, there's like a list at the very end of our many different groups, of our many different clubs and our organizations, just makes this resolution all the greater.
Thank you. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Did pass. Thank you. That brings us to item D on the agenda. Adoption of resolution number 202526-03, authorizing budgetary transfers of appropriations for fiscal year 25-26. Superintendent Castaneda, is there anything else you'd like to add before we proceed?
I'll just add that this supplemental budget is a fairly routine issue. Those of you who have been on the board have seen it happen, I believe, every year. And this one in particular is driven by a few changes that were both within and outside of our control. A few of the headlines here that you see incorporated into the supplemental budget was an increase in the state school fund after we approved our budget. Then the legislature closed and the state school fund went up a little bit. There are also a few other things that increased our expenses after our budget was approved, most specifically our licensed association collective bargaining agreement. That was ratified, you might remember, I believe in August. And so that created another change. And then on the capital side, there is the transfer of funds into the right fund for the purchase of the building that we hope to use for alternative education, and some capital projects related to the behavioral health center at Straub. So this is, a document that looks kind of dense and complex on its face, but I do believe it incorporates items with which you are familiar.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-26-03, authorizing budgetary transfers of appropriations for fiscal year 25-26? Director Ortiz, moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Director Harnish, second. Any discussion?
Director Hudson has her hand.
Director Hudson?
I just want to go ahead and state in advance that I will be voting no against this particular topic, just because, given that we're looking at a $25 million deficit around the corner, and I have to align with my ethics. And I know we discussed in the budget committee different things, but I don't believe that all of our decisions and pennies are going directly where they should be. And I know, it's going to pass anyway, but I think it's worth acknowledging, still bringing up the topic and conversation and spotlight on, again, further discussion in the future as we move into the next budget committee session, to try to focus more on students directly as we continue to find ways to tighten our belts and sustain our district. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye. 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 All those, any opposed? We have one opposed. It moves. It's that time of year when the board appoints new members to the budget committee, including the district's Equity Advisory Committee member. The budget committee is a 14-member committee consisting of our 7 board members and 7 community members appointed by the board, including, as required by Oregon statute, 1 position must be filled by a member of the District Equity Advisory Committee. The board opened the application process September 5th through October 3rd and received a total of 5 applications for 2 open community positions for terms to expire June 2028. The budget committee candidates received instructions to submit an application and a virtual 5-minute video interview answering 3 questions. Joining us virtually tonight are our candidates. Angelo Radanda Baca, Ronnie Brooks, Tyson Pruitt, Ela Thody, and Jim Vu. Welcome. We appreciate your willingness to serve. The board reviewed all applications and video interview submissions and will now vote. Pursuant to OAR 581-022-2307, the school district board, in consultation with the superintendent, must select at least 1 member from the district equity committee to serve on the school district budget committee. Because we did not receive an application from a member of the district equity advisory committee, the board will vote tonight to fill the 2 vacant community positions and will vote to fill the vacancy reserved for a district equity advisory committee member at a future meeting. I will turn it over to our board secretary to facilitate the voting process for the 2 remaining seats.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, we will go like we have in the past. We'll do a roll call vote, but we're going to do rank order vote. So once we hear from everyone, the individual with the least amount of votes will be crossed off the list, and we'll vote again until we reach consensus on a candidate. Does that make sense? All right. And Chrissy, go ahead and just unmute and we'll try to work it in that way. Make it easy. All right. Cynthia Richardson.
Just let me find my names again.
I can repeat them if you need.
Here they are. One person or two?
One.
Okay. Ronnie Brooks.
Okay. Karina
Isla Thody?
Thody. Lisa Harnish.
Jim Vu.
Jennifer Parker.
Tyson Pruitt.
Satya Chandragiri.
Jimbo.
Chrissy Hudson. Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. Jim Vu.
Yes.
Mel Fuller.
Angelo Arredondo Baca.
Council, can I make it quick and cross off all of those with one vote, or do we need to do 5 rounds?
Because you could only eliminate one if they did not get the vote. I think you need to do another round.
Yep. All right, we'll start again. Cynthia Richardson.
I need to, some clarification, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So I start over, or does the person I already voted for remain on the list, or I'm confused?
Yes, we start over. The person that you voted for, it remains on the list, and we will keep going until we,
So we have to vote the remaining ones now?
So what we're trying to do is get to 4 votes for one of the candidates. So in their 2 positions. So if you are in a position where you hear somebody else vote for a person that you would like for one of the 2 positions, if we can get to 4 on this next round, then we will be able to move forward with the next vote.
So next round, everybody's name starts all over again.
Yes, yes.
I didn't hear that. So we're not starting over, so,
We're doing one position right now. And then once we have a majority for that first position, then we'll move on to the second position.
so do I say Ronnie Brooks again?
Yeah.
if that's your vote, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Karina Guzman.
Jim Vu.
Lisa.
Jim Vu.
Jennifer. Satya.
Jimbo, please.
Chrissy. We can't hear you. Thank you. And Mel?
Ronnie Brooks.
Okay, we have 4 votes for Jim Vu, so he will be candidate number 1.
So he gets in, okay.
Now we'll move to community position number 2, and we will start over again.
Now we don't take Jimbo's name, right?
Correct.
Right.
All right, Miss Cynthia Richardson,
Ronnie Brooks.
Karina,
Isla Thody.
Lisa,
Isla Sodi.
Jennifer, Satya,
Tyson Pruitt, please.
Chrissy. Sorry, could you repeat that?
We can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. Tyson Pruitt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Fuller.
Angelo Arredondo Baca.
All right, we'll go one more round, and Jennifer went. So now we are choosing between Isla Thody and Tyson Pruitt. Cynthia Richardson.
Isla Thody.
Karina.
Isla Thody.
Lisa.
Isla Thody.
Point of order. If in the first round we didn't eliminate anyone, is that not the same case for the second round?
So I do think that we need to eliminate from the round one the person who received the lowest votes, and then people would be able to choose between Thody, Pruitt, and Arundanda Baca. Is that your understanding?
Right, we have the entire list with the exception of Jim Vu
Jim Wu got in.
still for the second round until we find a majority.
With the first round, for the first position, we didn't have consensus, which is why we started all the way over again. There was only one candidate that would have made it through. Does that make sense?
I will defer, yes.
What would
I was
believe
just
the process?
confused as to, we're selecting on these two because there's multiple votes for these top two? Is that, okay,
Right.
okay. Thank you.
Jennifer Parker.
Tyson Pruitt.
I can't hear you.
Mel Fuller.
Isla Thody.
Okay, Isla Thody is the next candidate.
Good.
Sorry. I had to pull out my hand.
We want to thank all of the candidates for your time this evening, and congratulations to our two new Budget Committee members. They are Jim Vu and Isla Thody. Do you want to misspeak?
Well, we could certainly give Isla a chance to.
Isla, would you like to have a few words?
Yeah, just wanted to say hello, and I really appreciate your guys' time, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Superintendent Castaneda, do you wish to provide further review of any item listed on the consent calendar?
I do not, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Yes. Go ahead.
Dr.
Jennifer.
Sandegari?
Jennifer raised first.
Oh, Jennifer?
Gets the.
Director Parker? Is there a second?
One second.
Dr. Sandegari seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And raise your right hand. Aye. Any abstain, any opposed? I didn't see Chris. We can't hear you.
You're muted.
Your microphone is off, Chrissy.
Yep.
We can hear you now.
I know, thank you. Sorry, I got kicked out almost all the way, so bless you guys. Consent. Yes.
Okay, it's moved. As a reminder, everything in the Information Standard Reports section is provided for the board's review ahead of the meeting. Superintendent, do you have anything to add?
I only wish to just briefly call your attention to the executive limitation reports that are starting to come through. We're entering the season of these, and so you'll see more or less one a month, and then a few coming in more densely in the late winter and early spring.
Thank you. That takes us to our board report section of the agenda, where directors and student advisors share work from formal committee assignments and activities of the board related to youth programs and school district activities since the last board meeting. Would you like to go first, Jackson?
Yeah. So, I mean, recently we had our SATs, which you know, that's always a pretty big stressor on students, but it's nice because it does come with a 3.5 to 4 day weekend. I mean, so additionally to that, we also, the marching band has kicked off their competing season. We just had our last competition this weekend, or our second competition this weekend, and we're going to our next competition at West this Saturday. And then the last thing I have is our theater department is working really hard right now on Mamma Mia, which will be debuting in November, I believe, like mid-November, and it's going to be great.
Thank you. Jolie?
What do you play?
I'm a percussionist.
Love it.
I'm also very excited to see Mamma Mia at Sprague. I'm going to go to that. But at South, we're working on rehearsals for Wizard of Oz, which has been going good. That'll be like the first week in December. And today at South, we had the school club fair, which was really great because we got to introduce the 9th graders to all the different clubs at our school, and we had different booths. I helped at the Graphic Design Club booth, which is a new club we're starting at South this year, which I'm excited about. Mr. Plooster, who's one of my favorite teachers, runs that, and I can't remember his name, but the photography or digital photo teacher also runs that. And we had they sent out an email, and we had like twice as many signups for clubs this year compared to last year's club fair, which is good because clubs are really important because they help students have a greater sense of belonging and get more involved in school, which is good. And I know there's been a lot of sports events at South, and that has been going good. I've gone to a few football games, and they've been fun. But yeah, I always love the first section of the school year because there's a lot of school spirit and a lot of stuff has started, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Parker?
Today I got the opportunity to go tour the CTE program, and it was excellent. I was completely amazed all the high-tech equipment they have, all the different programs they had. They had, I believe, 9 programs. We didn't get to see the aviation one, but all the culinary, the salon, the law enforcement, all the programs over there was just excellent. It was really a great opportunity to see that and all the great things that all these students get to do. It was very exciting for me to see because I've been hearing about it for this last year, but seeing it in person was really, really wonderful. And then at the end of the summer, I got to go down to the Pride and Park and got to witness all the a lot of students in their clubs and seeing them organize and having the booths selling stuff, really cute and really festival. Things that they were making, how creative they were. And I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Director Sandy.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to kind of acknowledge there are a lot of community members who sent public comments on Charlie Kirk. So, there was a gathering of students and families on September 12th in Corbin University. So I decided to go there. It was a very good healing experience to be with people when they were kind of sharing their grief. And it also kind of raised some very important topics. As Americans, we want to kind of bring that.
Point of order, is this related to a committee assignment?
Because I don't have any committee. You haven't given me any committee.
Or related to your formal capacity as a board member?
Excuse me?
Or related to your board
Yes,
capacity
there
as
is.
a
I'm
board
going to
member?
say something if you'll allow me to
I'd like to
finish.
pose those questions for the chair.
I wrote a letter to our board leadership and some of our elected officials about how we as a community and we can teach our children how to kind of learn to get along with each other and how to have a better, not only community as a nation. So that's really one important thing. The second thing I really want to say is, I have friends whose grandchildren come to our school district. And this particular friend, I just called him 2 years ago. He had just returned from Gaza a week before October 7th. So there are kind of a lot of grieving families in our community. Likewise, I got some Jewish mothers and fathers whose children and still have family members back home. So I'm really, in a way, I'm happy that the war in Middle East ended. Thanks for the leadership of our president and our nation and
Point
everybody
of order.
else.
Point of order. Point of order.
Let me finish.
No, sir, we will not go there.
No,
we will not. We need to talk about our students and our schools, and that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Because our children are from that part of the world, and I really want to say, we see you, we acknowledge your pain, but we all hope and pray that, things will get better, there'll be peace, and you are part of us, our community, and so that's the reason I wanted to kind of make sure I acknowledge that. Everybody likes to be seen. Nobody likes to be invisible, Chair.
I get that.
Yeah.
But
So that's really important for me. Please, let me just at least finish my thought. So I
normally
write,
do.
I did write to you. I did write to you. And it is important for me to acknowledge. There are a lot of people who are grieving, they're suffering. And I had to acknowledge their pain and what, as a school, this will be an inclusive place where everybody will have an opportunity to participate. As a community, we see you, we will help you, and we are all kind of welcome together. So thank you very much for allowing me to finish that thought.
thank you. Director Mill?
Director Mel, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. So it is really hard for me to capture the last 4 weeks of my life as a school board member in one comment, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Jennifer, I attended Pride as well. It was a kick. It was so great seeing our district students, families, and staff all there, just being present in the moment of celebrating themselves and ourselves and who we and they are. And I wanted to bring a picture, but I'm limited to, I guess, spoken comment, so I did get to play the fiddle for Abe Lincoln at Pride. I don't know if anybody saw him down there. It's a pretty authentic costume. I attended the homecoming game at North. The weather was amazing. The sunset against the football field at kickoff was just, it was so much fun being there. I heard from community members over the last few weeks since the last meeting about technology updates, tobacco policy, and school lunches. So I'm constantly chasing down topics and learning about those as it goes. I also attended an advisory session at the North Counseling Department. Satya and Chrissy were there as well. And I learned just the sheer volume and complexity of support that the counseling departments provide for our students. When you think about how diverse our student population is and a lot of the unique challenges that they face individually, it is absolutely mind-blowing to see the individual support that students get to graduation. I'm really glad I went to that meeting. And then finally, I guess okay. let's talk about reading scores for a minute. I know those came out, and those were kind of a focus. I know they were reported on by the media, but I was lucky enough to sit down last night with some of our district's leaders in an individual session and see these results and ask questions and kind of learn more about them and how they work. It's really complicated and complex. And when I left, I figured, okay, I've got 3 things that I can take away from this. 3 things to share with the community is that we're making progress. The district is making progress. It's happening. Each year, our teachers get more and more training that builds, and we get stronger teachers, and we get stronger learning, and it just keeps stacking on top of each other. And then data. All the data over the past couple of years, handful of years, that the district has been gathering, now we have the ability, they have the ability to look at those gaps and really give focused attention that they know is going to work because the data supports it. And finally, it's a community effort. It's a community effort. We have a role to play with our community and the kids, and thankfully we have a community that has a lot of resources and opportunities. Dolly Parton Imagination Library, yeah. So that's what we're making progress. 3 things: making progress, data, and community effort. So thank you. Those are my comments.
Thank you.
Director Harnish?
Yes, I joined Director Fuller and Ortiz last night too at the session focusing in on how we're doing in the dual language program and literacy specifically, and I came away just as enthusiastic. So I'm very proud of that work. Also had the chance to attend the portion of the principal meeting recently, and I was just blown away, the elementary principals, I should say, with the level of enthusiasm, and particularly around the literacy efforts and the work that is happening there, and also really embracing the pre-K to K-1-2 connection, and making sure that our kids are on the best track for that 3rd grade literacy. Also had the chance to meet with the CTE liaison, Miranda Love, at Roberts and Teen Parent Program, and learn more about the wonderful supports that are happening there. And we specifically talked about food insecurity and just the insecurities that children have in terms of just some of the basic needs, and what we might be able to do as a community to help to support that. And also I was able to attend the Pride event as well, and it was great to see students there, and I think the school year's off to a great start.
It is. Thank you.
Director Hudson?
Thank you guys for letting everyone speak. We love hearing from you students specifically, but as we talk about our pride ourselves as a district in safe, welcoming schools environment, it is important that we all get to share and kind of take spots around the community and help bridge that gap to make all of our families and students feel that way. So everything that everyone says matters, and I appreciate that. So for me, thanks, Mel, for mentioning one thing, North Salem High. I'm excited about the game, so I second what you student leaders had said as well. But I would like to spend a little bit of time just thanking everyone again so very, very much for being willing to come onto our budget committee. You are so wonderful for applying, for knowing we exist out here, and being willing to show up and put in those hours during that. And it's kind of a bummer. I always feel bad because when we go through our voting process, it makes it hard to reflect truly what our thoughts are on each and every person. And so I just want you to know that we're so thankful that you're here, and I hope that you consider again another time. It does not mean you are our last choice or anything like that. Again, so just thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
Director Ortiz?
Very briefly, it was right after our last business session that there was the Oregon School Board Association Board of Directors meeting, so I just wanted to give a quick recap on that as a committee member for that as well. So during that meeting, it was long, it was robust, it was beautiful. We were out in the Mount Hood area, and 3 points that I'll share was there was a long discussion, and a lot of the discussion over that weekend revolved around the OSBA board governance models and assessing kind of that statewide representation that exists on the Legislative Policy Committee and on the board itself, and really looking and analyzing, are we representing all of our districts? Are we representing regionally school boards across the state? So more to come on that. Continuing to explore steps to support the LGBTQ2IS plus advisory committee. If we recall, there was not enough votes to support this as a caucus, and so they're currently functioning as an advisory committee and exploring those avenues, since it's the first time an advisory committee exists with an OSBA. And then lastly, there were elections. So Don Watson of Phoenix Talent was voted as president for OSBA board, and Jose Gamero Georgeson of David Douglas as incoming president. So quick updates. Lastly, yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day, and it was, I think it's a day for us to reflect and to honor the painful history that has taken place on Indigenous lands, but also, I think an opportunity to elevate the work that our district does to support Indigenous children and families, and to really honor their culture, language, and relationship with our district and with each other. So that's that.
Thank you. I want to highlight Hands and Words Are Not for Hurting. Ann was with us earlier, but she had to leave. So I'm going to ask the board to please take the pledge with me. Will you repeat it after me, please? I will not use.
I will not use
my hands or my words.
My hands or my words
for hurting myself.
for hurting myself
and others.
and others.
Just want Ann to know how much we appreciate the work that she's done with this movement over the years. And I hope that our students are taking these pledges throughout the schools, and that they have their purple hands, and they remember this every time they're tempted to say something hurtful or to do something hurtful. It is currently 7:47. Our meeting is adjourned.